Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And welcome to another sub segment, Fictional Women Around the World. And this was a listener suggestion from Taylor. Thank you, Taylor. Taylor is our unofficial Olympic correspondent who's written in before, so hopefully we'll be hearing from Taylor soon about some things.
How do we make her official?
Oh, that's true. We need to discuss this. We need to. What is the initiation? So today we are talking about Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Disclaimer, I have not seen these shows. I have seen episodes, but I haven't seen the whole thing. So as always, I always kind of feel out of my depth when I do one about someone I don't know personally.
Yeah, I know nothing about this.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It is very popular. But let me know if I get anything wrong. But I think we're gonna give a good background because this character is beloved, Samantha. So Toph Beifong is a fictional character from the animated shows The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. She was first introduced in the 2006 episode of The Last Airbender, The Blind Bandit, and at the time she was a 12-year-old girl. But yes, if you have no idea what we're talking about, Avatar: The Last Airbender is an animated series set in a fictional, largely Asian-inspired world. It ran from 2005 to 2008 and was followed by The Legend of Korra, which ran from 2012 to 2014. In this universe, some people have the ability to telekinetically control the four elements: fire, earth, water, and air. And this is called bending. The Avatar is the only being who can bend all four elements. The story largely follows Aang, the last survivor of his kind, Avatar, and his friends, including Toph. It has won so many awards and is viewed by many as one of the best animated shows of all time. It touches on things like genocide, war, politics, imperialism, sexism, discrimination, and choice. Those are just a few. There was a live-action movie M. Night Shyamalan did, but it was generally panned and accused of whitewashing. I would say rightfully so. There is also a live-action series as of this year on Netflix, which I haven't seen, has gotten mixed reviews, but I believe they are doing a season 2 and they're casting Toph now. There are games and comics. There are all kinds of media surrounding this. But all right, back to our character. Toph was born blind, and because of that, has had limitations placed on her by others since she was very young. She is an earthbender, which basically means she can telekinetically manipulate and control sand, dirt, stone, and eventually metal. However, because of her blindness, her extremely overprotective parents, they limited her to basic earthbending. Like, they wouldn't really let her explore it. But Toph gets around this after she meets some badger moles, who are blind animals who naturally earthbend. And through their teaching, she learns to, quote, see through vibrations. Through her training, she earned herself the alias The Blind Bandit. She won a lot of underground earthbending tournaments. Frequently, she ran away from her parents, trying to escape them and learn more about her abilities. She eventually decided to travel with Aang and the others, including an earthbending teacher. Again, she's 12 years old. Toph argued with some of the other team members in the beginning, even temporarily leaving the team before returning to teach Aang about earthbending. Toph's skills proved essential to the team, and she brought them closer together. After Toph receives a letter from her mother claiming that she is in the city and she understands Toph now, Toph goes to see her, but on her way is captured and put in a cage. Her frustration and determination to escape led to her becoming the first metal bender in earthbending history. Basically, she was able to see the earth in the metals through seismic actions like banging her hands against it. She freed herself and rendezvoused with Aang and the others. Soon after, she used her newfound abilities to free herself and her companions. Toph's metal bending ability proved invaluable. When they were low on funds, she used it to cheat in gambling, which did end in prison, but she escaped. Later, she used her truth-seeing ability to know that their believed enemy, Prince Zuko, was being truthful when he had a change of heart, and he was willing to teach Aang firebending. After they are attacked, the team settled on Ember Island, where Toph enjoyed a portrayal of her in a play depicting their journeys. Aang disappears after that, and the remaining crew travels to the Earth Kingdom. They're able to save that kingdom, and Aang returns. Toph goes on to found a metal bending school, first with 3 students. The school gets caught up in a conflict, and Toph almost gives it up, but her students are able to metal bend for the first time, and they fight, and they win. Toph reunites with Team Avatar for a festival where she runs into her father, who does not speak up to say she is his daughter, and has her escorted off the premises of the refinery that he co-owns. Later, she confronted him, and he all but disowns her. He does not recognize any of her accomplishments. When the mine starts to collapse, Toph uses her ability to stop it and save the workers, her father, her friend, and herself. But she collapses from the exhaustion of that. Soon after help arrives, she convinces Aang not to destroy the factory. So basically, he was like, this is bad for the earth. Toph was like, well, not necessarily. And she convinced him not to destroy it. Her school grows, and her first students are now able to teach. Despite the success, Toph is bored. Her interest in teaching is reinvigorated, though, when she agreed to teach a lava bender named Sun. Over time, she acted as a diplomat, a warrior, a spy, participated in a political skirmish with bender supremacists, who are basically people that believe benders are better than everybody else, was Republic City's first chief of police, had 2 daughters that both went on to become earthbending masters, helped guide her friend Korra, and ran for governor. She failed, but then was asked to run again and refused because she was like, politics are terrible. And I'm like, okay, I see you. She was seen as a hero and a competent teacher. I believe there's a statue of her in Republic City. This character is independent, stubborn, brash, sarcastic, and very blunt. Due to her upbringing, she was eager to prove herself and excelled at earthbending. She wasn't worried about her appearance, and she was usually covered in a, quote, healthy coating of dirt. She was generally barefoot and sometimes purposefully uncouth to rebel against her aristocratic upbringing, like she would burp and spit and all of those things. She was very comfortable with her blindness, sometimes joking about it or calling it out when people would hand her pieces of writing or posters. As she grew older, she did become more cynical, and her relationship with her daughters grew strained, but she still kept in touch with those that she cared about. And here's just a quote to illustrate this character. So one of the characters says, "It's so dark down here, I can't see a thing." And she says, very sarcastically, "Oh no, what a nightmare." Her skill in earthbending was also unique because she'd been taught more about the nature of it outside of rigid teachings of a lot of others. So she kind of learned it outside of structures, I guess. Her style was derived from Southern praying mantis, which is a type of kung fu. She was weak to air attacks and didn't like traveling by air or sub since she couldn't feel the earth beneath her feet. She went on to learn sand bending too, and of course, yes, metal bending. So there are a lot of reasons this show is interesting, but the show creators consulted with professional martial artists for the show's fighting styles. A big one for Toph is called neutral jing. Essentially, this involves listening, reacting, balancing attacks and defense, and predicting an opponent's next move. Some behind the scenes stuff. This character was originally designed as a 16-year-old male jock type. He was very muscular and foul-mouthed. I believe in the original pilot, he's in it. But they redid the pilot, so it's not the one we saw, but he was in like the one they were showing networks and stuff. As the show got closer to airing, the idea was pitched that they should change it to a young girl, in part for humor, because they thought it would be kind of funny to have this like girl who's spitting and all this stuff. I don't know. Some have said it was refreshing and feminist to have a character have 2 children with 2 different men and never be questioned about it. Although some lamented that her relationship with her daughters tarnished her legacy. However, others argue that that is from the POV of her daughters. So you're not kind of getting her whole side of that story, but I did think that was interesting. I wasn't expecting that when I was reading this. From my experience with the show, I didn't know that there was all this other like comics and all this other stuff that explores what happens when they get older. And I didn't know she had 2 daughters, 2 different dudes, and was like, that was it. Nobody cared. I like it. But yeah, this is a really fascinating character. I had a lot of fun researching her. And she's a fan favorite. People love her. The creators were saying, they kind of fought. Some of them weren't on board with changing her to a young girl. And now they're like, this is my favorite character. I'm so glad that we did this. And the original jock dude that was going to be her is in an episode. So if you love Easter eggs, they did include him.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. But thank you so much, Taylor, for the suggestion. Again, if I got anything wrong, please let me know. If you have any thoughts about this, please let us know. You can email us at stephaniamomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter at momstuffpodcast or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff I Never Told You. We have a YouTube page, we have a TeePublic store, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christine, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.